we did yesterday, we worked on data table where we were seeing how to, first we saw how to insert values into the data table, that is the inbuilt data table of QTP. Then what we did, we removed the data from there and put it into a separate Excel sheet, and we imported the Excel sheet using the data table data table import sheet, the path of the Excel, which sheet you want to import from the Excel sheet and where you want to import, right?
Yeah.
So now today what we are going to see is that's all we do with data table. That's nothing more than that, right? All the information that you want to pass, you pass it into the data table and you start working with it. That's all. Nothing more than this you do with the data table. Now, the next step what you are going to see is how to create report. How to generate test report. Test report can be generated again in two ways. One, you can create an Excel report, or you can create a database report. All the values you can create a table and generate it. This is the most preferred, because what happens is if you generate a database report, then again you have to pull that report into an Excel sheet for the people to see that. So this is the most preferred method of creating Excel reports. So we will be seeing this, how to create Excel reports. Okay. Now in order to create Excel report, now what happens is that you cannot, as I told you, you cannot create data sheets, right? You cannot create data sheets. So how do you create a report? In order to create a data sheet, where you cannot create a data sheet because the data sheet is always attached to an action, right? The data sheet is always attached to an action. So you don't have an option to create a data sheet from the toolbar, but you can create a data table or data sheet on the fly. So you can create a data sheet on the fly, like how we imported the Excel on the fly, right? We saw that we imported the Excel on the fly, but when you stop the script, nothing was there in the data table. Similarly, you can create the data on the fly, and where you can see the report, you can once you generate the necessary report on the fly with you creating an action, go to test results, view results, automation results, and in the result, if you go to runtime data table, you go to runtime data table, you will see the action sheet where we imported all the data is here. Then another sheet would have been created here, which will have the output. So you can do this, right click here, and then say file export. Now you can export it in the whole table into an Excel sheet. You can do this. This is two-step process, or you can directly write into an Excel sheet. You can directly write. We're going to see both. We'll see how to create it in the runtime data table, as well as we'll see how to create it in the Excel report. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, on the fly I got this information. Now what and all I need to capture from here, I want the total price, what is the order name, which date I did fly from, which flight I flew, what is the flight number, name of the person whom I booked the ticket, total ticket, and the order number. So many information that we are going to take out from the application using the same script that we have here. Okay. Now before I click on the close, I have to do that, right? I'm going to take off this message box. Now I have captured the order number. Similarly, what and all I need the date of flight, fly from, fly to, all this information. But first, let's see how to create a data sheet and write information into a data sheet. Okay. So what I'm going to do on the fly, I'm going to create a data sheet and write the order number in the data sheet. We'll just start with that. Okay. So how do you create a data sheet? Now creating data sheet is again a two-step process. Okay, or rather a three-step process. Okay. Let's see what are the three steps. Yeah. Fine. The three-step process. First what we need to do, we need to a sheet. We need to create a sheet. Here I'm going to say what is the sheet name. 2. The second step would be to say what is the, or say rather, create column. Create columns. So here you will say what are the column names. 3. Then we'll say what value do you want to pass. Now what I'm writing here, right, if you search in the internet you won't get all this information. This is how, when I learned QTP, right, years ago when I learned QTP, how did I remember what all things should be done in order to write a result into the data table. So this is how I remembered. First I have to create a sheet, then I have to create a column, and then I have to pass the value in it. This is like an algorithm. You remember this? These three steps you will end up writing the script without any errors. Let's see how to do that. First is create the sheet. I'm going to create the sheet now. So I'll say data table dot, I want to add a new sheet, right? So then it's called add sheet. And what is the sheet name it's asking? I will say result. I want to pass my result. You can give any name. There is no restriction on the name what you want to give. You can even give your name also. Fine. Next, what should I do? What is the column name you want to create there? So I'll say data table. Now, when it runs, when this gets executed, it will create a sheet called result. Now, I need to put the column name in the result. So I'll say dot. First, I'll get the sheet. Get sheet. What is the sheet name? Result. Now I got that sheet. In that sheet, I want to put the value there. So, what do you call the table column? Column name. What is the what terminology did I use with the column name? Can anyone tell me? Looking at this, what should I give? What method should I give? Any guess? Yeah. Go ahead.
Value.
Value. Where is value here? Can you see the list where anywhere value is given?
No.
Haji.
Get parameter.
Get parameter. I said these are all parameters, right? So you have to get the parameter. And what is the parameter name? I want to pass whatever parameter name, whatever parameter name I want to pass, I will pass there. So what am I getting? This is my ORD
number.
NUM. That's the name that's going to come, like agent name you see here. That's the name that's going to come there, right? And then there is a small thing that you should remember here. You should put a comma and open, close, close. That's how the function is defined. Open and close quotes. If you want to pass a value here, you can put the value here, but we are not going to pass a value here. We are going to pass the value when we are going to call this parameter and then pass the value. So just leave open and close quotes there. The next what I have to do, I have to put the value there. So now I'll say data table. If I have to put the value into the data table, can anyone help me out to write it? How do I write? Any idea? How do I get the value? Can you give me the function? How do I get the value from the table? Yeah. How do I get the value from the table?
Data table. Dot value.
Data table, correct. Data table dot value, perfect.
Dot value, and then you give the parameters.
Which is the sheet name, right? No, the column name here. Parameter ID is the column name, correct?
Yeah.
So I'll say ORD, NUM, okay, comma. Which sheet is this? Which sheet this comes under?
Yeah, this is the sheet we.
What is the sheet name? Result. Perfect. Now this is how you get the value, right? From the table.
Yes.
And in order to put it into a variable, you put the variable right on the left side, correct?
Yeah.
Now if you want to put the value, sorry, go ahead.
Then it's equal to the value which
What?
you want to put it.
You want a value equal to?
And then the value you want.
Or the number. So now you have to remember, thanks. If you have to remember that if you want to take the value from, say example, I want to take this value that is there in my column 1 into my script, I will put the variable on the left side and this code on the right side. If I want to take the value from the script and put it into my data table, right? Then I will put the code on the left side and the variable on the right side. The variable that you want to pass it into the column. Guys, you are able to understand this? You guys are able to understand? Any questions? Any questions? Fine. Now let's see how it works. Let's see. Now I'm going to run this. I'm going to put a pause here and let's run this. Now I'm going to put a pause here and here. Okay. Now I'm going to run this. Run. Run. So now it's imported the data from the Excel sheet. It's logging in with the first user. Now it's in the synchronization point waiting for this. Yes. Yeah. One more. Oh, perfect. Okay. Now it is going to create a sheet now. Let's run this. I'm going to run this. Can you see here, guys? A new result sheet is created. Can you see? Now a new result sheet is created. Right? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run the next code. You see? Order number is generated. You see? Order number, that's the name that's put here. Now I'm going to run this. Next line of code. You see? Order number 77 is here. If you see here, order number is 177. That's what is written into the data table now. Now I'm going to, I'm going to finish this. Okay. Now if it goes to the next row, so it's going to take me. Now every row, it's going to increment the order number. So let's stop here. Let's see that. Let's see the result. You see, another sheet has come, result, and the order number is here. Guys, you are able to understand this? You are able to understand this? Any questions? Any questions? What should I take? Either you guys didn't understand anything or you understood everything. What should I take? Madam.
We added the parameter order number, right? So can we add more parameters?
We're going to do.
Okay.
Dheeraj, patience. We just started. If I show you everything together, you will not understand. So one at a time. Okay? We just started with the order number. Now we're going to see what I'm going to do is, next what I'm going to do, I'm going to run 2 iterations to put 2 order numbers. And then we will start adding one thing. Okay? Tell me, what's the question?
Yeah, Rajesh, you just said that if we put order number on right and left, could you explain that one time? I missed it.
How can you miss it if you are in the class?
No, like the reason.
Okay. Here. Now, if I want to take the value from the data table into my script, you know how do we do that?
Yeah. Yes, I saw it on the video. Yeah, I don't remember it, but yeah.
You should remember the functions. Okay. Yeah. Now that is data table dot value order whatever sheet name, and then we put the variable on the left side equal to this code, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So whatever value is in the first column, first row, you'll put it into the variable. Correct.
Okay.
Now I don't want the value to be put into from the variable, from the data table into the script. I want the value from the script to go into my data table.
Okay.
So what I'll do, I'll put the code which will point to I'll put the code which will point to where my data should go, and then I'll say equal to the variable which contains the data.
Okay.
You're getting me? If I put the variable this side,
yeah,
order number this side, that means it's going to go search for this particular sheet, take the order number and give me the data.
Give you the data, yes.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
You're getting me?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Haji.
Rajesh, I wanted to ask you, what is its use? Like, why is it done? Why, if it is temporarily storing the data into that data sheet, why do you? It's
not temporarily storing. When you see the result is there, right here.
Okay. Like, what is
and
it?
Then you can select all and just say file, export, into all the data will come into the Excel sheet. 2 methods of preparing your report.
Okay.
One method is this.
Okay, so this is used for if we want to extract anything from the test while running the test, if we want to take out anything and show it as a report.
Now you are telling that you finished executing insert order.
Okay.
No issues. How do you confirm that? Right? So you ran 5 iterations and everything passed. But how do you confirm that it passed? Unless you see the order number, right?
Okay.
So you will say for this person, these 2 locations we booked the flight and this is the person name and this is the number of tickets that we passed. This is the total value that came and this is the order number. So now looking at all these things, the client will know really that the application really worked.
Okay, so basically it is an evidence of testing, like you're testing it and you're recording the evidence. Like
correct. You're generating a report for the customer or the client to see that the test went through fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Getting me?
Yes. Thank you.
Any other questions? Fine. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run 2 iterations. Okay. I'm going to run 2 iterations. keep a watch on the result column with the order number. Okay. Now let me put a pause here so that we can see that. Let me put a pause here. Now I'm going to run only 2 iterations. I don't want 4 iterations here. So I will just change this item number to 2. Okay. Run. Run. Let's see what happens. Okay. Now the order number that is generated, keep a watch case. Row number 1, 178. Okay. Now let's continue the run. Let's pick up Chitra. You see here, it's generating another row, another table. We don't want this to happen, right? We don't want this to happen. And it's going to put the value. Where is the value gone? The value got updated here. You see here, the value got updated on top of row number 1 only. You see? But it should come in row number 2, right? So what should we do? Let's stop the script. Now you saw that. Did you guys see? Let me close this. Let me close this. Close. Yeah. Let's go to the test result. Did you guys see? 2 things got, you have to notice here. 1, the order number created another column, order number. Okay. And then instead of writing it in row number 2, it overwrote on row number 1. This can be easily handled, but this one, how to handle this, I'll just quickly show you. Where we create the order number, right? The result sheet, and then we create the column name. Put this outside the iteration because we just need to create that once. We don't need to create every time. So I'll put this outside my for loop. Done. This will create the sheet once and the column order number once. So I handled that. Now, what is happening here? Why did it overwrite? By default, like how we worked with the data table, this is also a data table, right? By default, the row selected is the first row. Now, every time you select, it will always be on the first row, unless and until you ask the script to move to the next row. So you have to ask the QTP to move the data table in the result sheet or the pointer in the result sheet to the next row. How do we do that? How do we do that? Can anyone tell me how do we do that? Can anyone tell me how do we do that? How did we move the data table, the data that we caught in the data table to the next row?
Yeah, we data table dot get sheet and action here it will be result sheet, but there we used I think action sheet number 1 dot set next row.
Set next row here, right?
Yeah.
Now what is the set next row? Set next row will work only when data is there. Okay. It will not work when data is not there. Let's see. Let's see. You are doubting me.
No.
Yes. You are sounded like you doubted me. What nonsense this guy is talking,
No.
right?
No.
Yeah. You in your mind you thought that. So I want to run it and show you.
Okay.
Okay. Now I put result set next row. Correct?
Okay.
Fine. Now let's run it twice. Save. I'm going to run this 2 times. I'm going to close this. I'm going to take this out. I don't want this. No, we know this happens. Okay. Done. Okay. Now it's put the first one, 180. Okay.
Yeah.
Function F11. So it closed that. So now it is going to move the action to the next row. That's this one. Function F11. It moved. Correct?
Yeah.
For the result where the pointer is still on the first row. Now let me run this. You see, it did move.
Yeah.
So when you run the next iteration, it will write on top of this only again.
Okay.
Okay. So now for this, what we are going to do is there is another function for your data table to write it into the data table, right?
Okay.
What is that function? It's called the get current row. Now this get current row, what it will do? It will tell which row the pointer is. It will just say which row the pointer is. Now for here, if I put this, it will say the pointer is in row number 1.
Yeah.
That's all. But that's not what we want. We wanted to move it to the next row.
Yeah.
So what I will say, get current row, in bracket, I will write I plus 1. I plus 1. I'll explain what is this. What is I? In our for loop, if you see here, for loop, I is equal to 1. So when it comes here and writes, by default, at this point, by default, you are in the first row. By default, you are here. Correct?
Yeah.
Now when it comes here, what will happen? What is the current row? Current row is 1. What is I?
1.
I is 1. 1 plus 1 is
2.
2. So your current row now will go to 2.
Okay.
So number of iterations that you put, it keeps moving on to the next line. Let's see. You still have a doubt.
No. I'm trying to understand. Yeah. But
Yeah. You still have a doubt. I know. What this guy is blabbering. Right? Let's see. Now we are here. Logged in. Result sheet is created. First row. Fine. Now it is written 181. Okay. Now it's going to close. Let's run this. It closed. Now it is going to move the data table, data sheet in the action 1 to the next row. It moved. Okay.
Yeah.
Now here, if you see, let's run this and see that the pointer is moving to the next line. What happened? Data table, correct only I wrote. Sorry guys. It is not get next row. It is set next row. not get, it is set. Sorry guys. Set current row to the next. Let's run this. Okay. Close. Function F11. Fine. It went to the next row. Now this should go to the next row. You see? The pointer is in the next row. Now if I run this, it will go and write in the next row. You see?
Yeah.
Can you see this?
Yes.
It's written the result in the next row.
Sure.
Fine. Any questions, guys?
Thank you.
Any questions? Haji.
Rajesh, why shouldn't we use set next row instead of set current row plus 1?
Okay. Why should we not use set next row? Let me show you what is the difference between set next row and set current row. Set next row and set current row. Right? This is your question, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now set next row works only when the next row, that is 1, say 2, 3, 4. Okay. There are 4 rows. Now currently the pointer is here. Set next row works only when data is in the second row. That's when it will move to the next row.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, it will move to the next row if data is here. Imagine no data here. It will stop at this point only. It will not move to the next.
Okay.
Set current row, you are telling I want you to or I want the script to go and set the current row in third one or second one or fourth one, whichever you want.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday someone asked me, I don't know who's that, someone asked me if I want to run from a specific table column or a specific data, how do I get it? Say example, I want to run from the third row of the column.
Yeah, I think I asked.
You asked it, right? You got the function for that.
Okay. So
you will initially only you will say set current row before you start the loop. Okay. This you have to say before you start the loop. Oh, if I don't use my mouse, that's the problem. Okay. Say example, I wanted to start from the third column. Okay.
okay.
I'll copy this and I'll put this outside because as soon as you get into the loop, the first thing that should take is the third one, right?
Yeah.
So before I start the loop, I will say here set. This should be action. Action 1. Set current row, and I will say 3. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's run this and see. Let's run this. Now automatically the pointer will move to the third row. Okay. You see?
Yeah.
Now Yogita, it will take Yogita. This is what you wanted, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. If I would have explained this yesterday, it would have been very confusing because I have to show you so many things just to answer your question.
Yes.
That's why it was easier for me to say you cannot do that.
Okay.
Okay.
I was thinking how can we do that?
Yeah, that was easier for me because I had to teach you set next current row, then I have to teach you set next row, then I have to teach you set current row. So many things I have to teach you just to answer your question.
Yeah, sure.
So it was easier for me to say you cannot do it, and then I showed you how now you know how to do it, right?
Yes.
It would have been already there in the
So,
printer.
we can go to which number we want. Yeah,
whichever number you want, you can run that.
Yes. Okay.
And this set current row, what will happen? Current row plus 1. Since already you are in the third row, it will move to the next row. Fourth row. It won't go to the first.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah. No. Thanks, Rajesh.
Yeah. Madam.
Rajesh, so if we, so as your experienced person, you know what to keep the function for the script, right? So as we are freshers, so do we have anything to know what that function does, what that function does? Do you have anything?
Yes.
Like guide?
Yeah, you have the guide, right? Go to help.
Okay.
You press F1.
Okay.
Right? The moment you press F1, you have the help file coming up.
Yeah. Okay. As soon as we see those function options, sometimes we do get and sometimes we don't get, right? So,
okay. And write a request to whatever you want in the website, right?
Okay.
See, Monica told me she wants all the functions, so I wrote the functions. Right? Here you see, I'm writing one thing. So if you tell me you want this, I will put that there. Right?
Okay.
Now here I have written up to synchronization also.
Okay.
Okay, so much I have written. Whatever I remember, I wrote. I don't work on this on a day-to-day basis. So if you tell me whatever you want, send me a mail or put it in WhatsApp. What I will do, as soon as you put it in WhatsApp, I'll put a link here so that I remember that has to be done. And you will get that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Aji.
This set current row in real time, do we really find this situation like, we have to jump to the different rows and execute that, or we always go with the 1 to 10 like that?
No, it is what happens is sometimes when you're running, see, this is just a tool, right? Sometimes what happens, you would have run till the row number 10 and then script would have failed. Sometimes what happens when you run, even though object is there in the object repository, it might not be able to identify. Sometimes. Okay, so you stop and restart, it will work. At that time, why should I run 1 to 10? I'll run from 11, right?
Yes.
That's the situation I'm talking.
Okay.
Got it? On a normal day, you won't run from 5. You'll always run from 1, 2, 3, right?
Yes, but the special scenarios like what you said,
yes,
those kind of situations, it works.
Yes.
Thank you.
Haji.
If the new data got added to the data sheet in that scenario, also it works, right?
New data got added in the data sheet in a sense?
So if for example, first there are 9 lines in the data sheet, and next if we add 10.
No. The moment this result, right, the result that generates in the QTP, if you go to automation result, you lose this the moment you run the next one.
Okay.
Okay, so if it's here, it is here. See, it's gone. See, order number, everything is gone. That's the reason we write it into the Excel sheet.
Okay.
You got it? Mistakenly, before you exporting it into the Excel, by mistake, if you close off or you click off the run, no, gone. Everything is gone.
Okay.
So that's the reason we write it into the Excel sheet.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. Any other questions, guys? Okay. Now, if you want to write multiple rows into the data sheet, right? Say, example, I took the order number. Now, can anyone help me? How do I take, I want to take, say, example, I want to put fly from and fly to. How do I do that? Can anyone help me out? Anyone? Fly from and fly to. Anyone? Tell me how to do that.
So are we putting the data into the data table?
Yeah, the data table. See, we have already put the data in the data table, right? Here now the data is in the data table, right?
Yes.
And now we took the value from the data table
Yes. Yes.
into this variable.
Yeah.
Now just take this variable and put it into the result sheet.
Okay.
So what I'll do,
Okay.
I'll copy this line only. These two, right? I'll copy these two lines.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I? Here, order number, right? So order number should come last. So whatever order you put, that's the order in which it will generate.
Yeah.
So I'll say, where is the order number? Here, sorry. Control X.
Okay.
Here is where we are writing it into the table, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I'll take this out, Control X. I'm going to put it here. Fly from this should go.
And also we need to change the action 1 to result, right?
Yes. So I'm going to do that. I'm just copy pasting instead of typing everything. No?
Okay.
I'll say equal to. Now this value will go into this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Into the fly from table, and I'll change it to result. Result. Control X. I'll put this. Control V. Space equal to. You're getting me?
Mm-hmm.
So now I took this value from the data table and I'm putting it into the result sheet.
Result sheet. Yeah.
You got it? Similarly, the name also is right. I want the name. So the login person, same name I'm using for my ticket name also, right?
Yes.
So this one also I need.
Okay.
Or I'll use this one, name. Might be if it has given a different name, so I'll use this one. So fly from, fly to. First I'll put the name of that person. Fly from, fly to. So now take this out. Put it equal to now. And then I will say result here. So I have the name of the person, flight number, flight from, flight to. Now I need the flight number and the total price. So how do I get that? How do I get the flight number?
Properties.
What property? How do I get the properties? Spy. But okay, I spy. Then what should I do?
You need to click on.
Yeah, I clicked on this. Now what should I do now here?
Text value.
Text is empty. Text. Okay, that's where the value is going to come. Fine. There was no value, so it's showing empty. Okay. Text. Next, what should I do? Tell me.
So Rajesh, for this first we have to create column names in the result sheet, right?
No, first I have to get this value from the application into my script, right?
No, I'm talking about you wrote this row 71, 72, 73.
Correct. I have to create this. That's on top, right? I'll create this here. Add parameter. Let me comment after this. I don't need this, right? Here I have to add parameter to this. Right? So what all are the new? First one is, what is the first one? First one is nam fly from, fly to, right? Okay, that's nam. Then this is fly from, fly to. Order number. As of now, we have kept the order number. Now, how do I get? Can you help me out to get this fast? How do I get this from the application into my script?
Yes.
You want to help me out?
So flight number first we have to run the script to get the flight number, right?
Not necessary. I just wanted to get the value. I know it comes inside text. Why do I need to run the application?
So, but if we are not running the test, so the text is empty.
What is there? You know that the value comes in the text, right?
Yes.
So put the value. You only want the parameter. You don't want the value, right?
Okay, okay. So window.
Okay. Wait, hold on. I'll put it here. I'll just put it get on. Okay. Tell me window.
Window. In parentheses, flight reservation.
Window. Flight reservation.
Dot. I think that's the edit. So I think win edit.
Win edit.
Flight number. We have to first add it to the objects repository.
Yeah. That's what first you should have said. Right. First you have to say check whether it's there in the object repository. That's the first thing that you have to say. Okay. So now I'm going to add it into the object repository file. Enable editing. Save. Add object. Flight number. And I will also add of the total. Okay. Chinese texting, she cannot join the meeting, it says. Okay. Meeting number. Stop sharing. Meeting number is this, right? Okay. So now I'll also add order number also we need, right? So I'll add a. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, Rajesh, we can.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's your side. You got to check. Okay. Now I added both. So now what I'm going to do, I'm not going to type as you said. I'm more lazy than you. So what I will do, I'll drag and drop it. See, easy. Why do you want to break your head? Right. Now, what is the
Get
what
arrow
I should
property.
get arrow property
And
of the xt. What is happening here? Of the xt text, and I will say this is the. Why are you doing order number? Order number we already taken, no?
It's
Flight number. Come on, you should concentrate. No, not good. Not concentrating. Flight number, right? Get arrow property text. So, what is happening with my computer? Oh, something wrong with my system. Gone, man. Something is wrong with my system now. It's not saving also. Yeah. Okay. Text, and I will say this is equal to FLI flight number. Similarly, I'll take this and put for my order number also. Order number, I know what to say. What is happening? God. My control C, control V is not working. Okay. So I'll say I want my total, right? Total. So this dot get auto property of text. And this will say UT. Okay. Now I got that value. Now I got to put it into my script. Control C, Control C, Control V won't work now. I don't know what happened. Data table dot value of
So first we have to create column name also, no, for these.
yeah, we'll do that. We'll go there and do that. So I'll say flight number FLY number, comma. What is happening? Okay, comma. Result was equal to FLY number, and the other one is dot value of yeah.
Rajesh, so is equal to fly. I think N should be capital because in 74 you have written N as capital.
Yeah, correct. Number. This will give the same what is there in the data table column name also.
Okay.
It's not necessary. It should be the same. I kept up the same.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Equal to TOT. Okay. So now I have to create 2 more columns. This Control C1, Control V want to work now. Copy. Enter. Paste. See, it's not working. Okay. Data table dot get sheet of result dot parameter meter. This was FLY number. Correct, no?
Yes.
Dot get sheet of result of TOT. Okay. Now let's run this and see. Save. I'm going to run to it. It's not saving also. God. Give me a second, guys. Control A. I don't want to lose the code now. Hold on. God. Now what will I do with this? Don't tell me everything I have to redo now. Nothing is working. Let me run this. Run also is not working. So I have to redo. No other option. Let me do one thing. Control A. Control C. Go here. Notepad. Control V. God. Something to do with copy. Paste. No. Sorry guys. Something my QTP got stuck. I have to restart the whole thing again. Fine. Now, let me go. What happened? Oh God, it got crashed or what? Okay, so let's go to data table. Hope it's saved. No, it's not saved. So we have to do everything now. God. Order number, fly from flight 2 is there. After that it didn't save. After that we did order number, right? Flight number and this one. Is that saved? Total and
Flight number.
Flight number. Okay. So let's do that. Total. Okay. What is happening? God. Okay. Flight number and total. Okay. So now this one. Take this and put it on top. Here. Data property of set. Data property of text. And this should be FLY numbers equal to yes, yeah. Okay, now I have name, flight number. Okay, now these two are up to flight number and dot flight number. Fine. So I have the name from where, from the two, what's the flight number and what is the total and the order number. Save this. Now let me go up. So name like this should come here. Add parameter. Tuck. So this should be FLY in number. This should be total. That's it, right?
Yes.
Fine. Let's run this now. I'm running 2 iterations. Run. What is it? What is the problem here? Fly from the set data table dot value operator failed. Fly from column does not exist. So did we give a wrong name? Let's see. What did we give here? Column name as fly from. And what did we give here? This is the problem. Let's copy this and put it on top. Okay. Object does not support the method data table get sheet set next to one. Where did this one come from? Oh my god. Okay. Stop. Some typo there. Why did this one come? Where does this one come from? Let's see in the result table. You see, all the values got updated in the result table. It moves the result table to the next row. Now all the values will get updated in the next row. Fine, guys. So now you can go into the automation results. Go to runtime data table, result sheet, and you have the information here. You can click on this empty row. You see here on top, next to the name and next to one, you see an empty column and a row. Click on that. It will select the whole table. Right click, export, sheet, right click, sheet, export, and provide the sheet name. It will be able, you will see the data there. Guys, you are able to understand this? Any questions? Fine. Now let's see, if I have to write it into an Excel sheet, how do we do that? Now writing into an Excel sheet is little complicated. I'm not going to do it here. First I will show you how to write into an Excel sheet, and then we will bring it into our script. Okay? It's not as simple as what you write into the data table. The Excel sheet is a little complicated compared to writing it into a data table. Okay? Now let's see how to write it into the Excel sheet. Now when we are writing data into an Excel sheet, let me first write this down. Okay? Things that you need to remember. Let me clean this up. Okay? Things that you need to remember. One, writing into Excel. 1. First you need to create an object. That is, you need to create an Excel object first. That is, you have to tell that you have to create a Excel file. So now creating an object will just create a blank sheet. Now in this blank paper, yes, this is the second way of writing. This is the second way of writing your, not writing into Excel. This is not the second way of writing into Excel. This is the way we are going to write into Excel. That this is the second way of writing your, generating your report. Now you will create a sheet. When you create an Excel sheet and you just create an object, the Excel sheet will look like this, a blank sheet. Now you can't write anything into the blank sheet. You need to have a sheet created there, right guys? And in the sheet you need to create column and rows. Unless this is there, you cannot write it into the Excel sheet. So we have to create that. So first what will you do? First you will create an Excel object. Then in the Excel object you will create a workbook. In the Excel object. Now what do you mean by workbook? That is where you are going to create the sheet. Right. Now what does this do? This will, the workbook will make this whole sheet editable. This will make the whole sheet editable. Third, what we will do, we have to create the sheet, right? We have to create the sheet. Now in this, what we will do, we will create a sheet in the workbook. Okay, we create a sheet in the workbook. And then 4, what we will do, when we create the sheet in the workbook, automatically rows and columns will get created. You don't need to separately create the rows and columns. All you need to do is first create an Excel object that will create an empty file. Now this file, you create a workbook. That means you take this file and make this file editable. Then what you do, in this workbook, you create a sheet, say example sheet 1, and then in this sheet 1 you will say go to column, comma, row, and put the value. Guys, you are able to understand this concept. Are you guys able to understand this concept? Anyone has questions on this? So what we did, Monica, you are able to understand?
Okay.
Can you explain what we did here?
Yeah, first we need to create the object here.
First we created the object, that's an empty object, correct?
And then when we create the workbook, it will become like a editable.
Editable, correct.
And then we create a sheet.
Correct.
And then we create the rows and columns.
No, sheet automatically will create the rows and columns.
Okay.
Okay. Now when you create a sheet, automatically rows and columns will come into Excel. Now we will say go to column, comma, row. That is, column is A, row 1, 2, 3, right? So you'll say A, comma 1 or column 1, row 1, and you'll say equal to value. It will put the value here.
Okay.
You're able to understand?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this in practical and see how we achieve this. So now first thing I'm going to do is, create a Excel object. So I'm going to declare all those things. Okay. before I declare, let me write down whatever I want and then I will put the variables as declaration. How do you create an object? You create an object saying create dot create object dot and what create object, and what do you want to create here? I will create a Excel dot application, Excel application. And I'll close this. Now I need to assign this into a variable for me to call in different locations, right? So I will say variable, I will tell the variable name as OXL Excel application equal to. Now why did I put O? There is no necessity for you to put O. The only reason I put O is that just to whenever I write, it's a standard that I follow. I just to differentiate a normal variable to a object variable. Now this is an object. This variable is an object, right? Because it's containing a Excel object in this variable. Just to differentiate that, I will put an O. And if the variable is an object, we have to use set. Only if a variable is an object, we have to use set. So I'll declare this here. Now I have created, this is where I am creating an Excel object. So I created an Excel object here. Next, what I have to do? I have to create a workbook, right? I have to create a workbook. So how do I do? I have to take this object and then create a workbook. So I'll say again set O workbook equal to, now what is the object? O Excel app dot, now what is here? I have to say workbook, workbooks dot add. So now what will happen? For this particular object, it's creating a workbook and adding it into this particular variable. So now this, wherever I call this, the workbook will be editable. Now what I have to do, the next what I have to do, I have to create a sheet. Again, I will say set O sheet equal to, now I'll call the workbook. So it is workbook dot, I'll say worksheets of, what is the sheet name here? I'll give sheet 1. Now this will create me, first it will create an Excel object, then it will create a workbook, and then it will create a sheet in the workbook. Now let's see how it generates. You want to see, I didn't declare rest of the things. Let me declare of all these things. Comma and comma worksheet. So I declared all the workbook, everything. Now I'm going to run this and see whether it works. Let me run this and see. You see? It worked, but I didn't see anything, right? What happened? Did you see anything? Nothing. You didn't see anything. So if I want to see what happens, what I'll do is, at this point, after I create the workbook, I'll say set, I'll say OXL XLAPP dot, there is a function called visible. Visible is equal to true. Now if you put this, what will happen? You will see what is happening. You can see that getting generated. You see? It got created. Can you see, guys? Did you see that? An Excel sheet got generated. See, an Excel sheet got generated. Fine. Now, in this Excel sheet, I want to put the data. So what I want to put my data in the Excel sheet. So let me close this Excel sheet. I want to put first, so I'll say, now whenever you want to put data, just call O sheet. That's all. Just call O sheet for the, to put the data. Yeah.
To make the Excel sheet visible, do we necessarily need to write it fourth line?
No. This is to see, during the runtime to see.
Yes, that I
Right.
got, but
But if you want to make the Excel sheet, if you want to put the value and save the Excel sheet, I'm going to do next. There is a function to save the Excel sheet also.
okay. No, what I am asking, to make it visible, we have used this fourth line, right? So is it necessary that we only need to write in between 3 and 5 to make it visible?
If you put it here, this is where the object, Excel object is getting created, right? If you put it here, you will see the workbook getting created and the sheet getting created.
Okay.
That's why I put it there. If you put it here, it will all get created. Then when you, what it will show? That's why I put it in between.
Okay.
I'll say O sheet dot cells. What is the options? I'll say 1, 1. Right, and I will say equal to, this is my first Excel data. Okay, now let's run this. Oops. Let's run this and see how it works. Let's run this. Oh no, I don't need to save it now. Okay, I'll save this as. You see, it wrote that in the Excel. Now, I got to save this Excel file, right? It's not saving. It's just opening and keeping it. Now, I got to save this Excel file. So, what I will do, I want to save the workbook. So, I'll say workbook dot save as. Don't use save, use save as. And say what is the path you want to save. Where do you want to save this? So I'll say I want to save it on, not control panel, not on control panel. Where's my computer? Yeah, my computer. C drive, Rajesh, QTP. I'll put one more folder, create a folder called results. And in this, I want to put this. So I'll copy this. I'll put this as the path, slash. And what is the file name you want it to be saved as? I will say result.xls. Close. Now this will save in that name. Now, remember guys, if you are saving the file, then you have to close all the objects that you created. Otherwise, it will not close the link between this script and the Excel file. So whenever you open it, it will always open in read-only mode. So in order for you to rework, you have this control on the Excel, you got to close the workbook first. You have to first close the workbook. Dot close. Close. You close the workbook, and then you have to quit the object. So this you have to remember. QUIT, quit. These two you have to remember, and then I will release every other thing that I have here. So I'll say O sheet. This is an object, so I'll say set O sheet equal to nothing. Okay. Then I will say workbook. Set workbook equal to. So that means I'm releasing completely all the connections. Then what else I have? Excel object. So I'll say set Excel object equal to nothing. So once I do this, if you open your Excel sheet, it will open in editable mode. It will not open in read-only mode. I'm going to run this now. See, it saved the Excel in your file. Guys, can you see this? And here is your data. Guys, you are able to understand any questions? Any questions? Fine. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and put it into our script. Okay. I'm going to close this. Close. Now I'm going to delete off this result. I don't want it. And now what I will do, I'm going to take this and put it into my the other script. Save it. Open. Data table. I'll save this file as save as data table underscore Excel. Now what I will do, I will copy and put it on top before I generate everything, and then I have to split the script. Okay. So first what I have to do, first I'll declare these objects before I get into my script. So I'll create an Excel object, visibility true. I don't want this visibility to be true when it's running. It will get confused. And then I want to add a workbook, add a sheet. Everything is perfectly fine here. Now, this portion should come towards the end. So I'll copy this portion out. Now I have this thing. Now I'm coming here. Now I'll go here. I want to write it into the Excel, right? So I'll say cell 1, 1, put the data. We're going to change all this information. And I don't want to close it now. So I'll take it out and I'll save it later. I'll save this file at the end, quit and close everything. Outside my next loop, I put this information. Okay. Now cell 1, 1, I want what I want here. I want the column names here, right? So I'll say name 1, 1. I will put name. So I'll say 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. No, 2, 1, right? Second column, first row. It should be fly from. Third column, first row, fly to. Fourth column, first row, fly number. Fifth column, first row, total. Then sixth column, first row, should be my order number. What is it? 12, 13, 14, 11, 12, 13, 14. Who's that? What is that 11, 12, 13?
I think this is, Rajesh, this is this column row. The first one is column number. Second is row number. I think so. 1 1.
Yeah.
1 2 1 3 1 4. I think this is
Correct. No, first is row and second is column.
No,
You are telling me first row and second column, or first column, second row?
first row and then second column. I think.
Let's check. Even I was little. Let me also check. Even I'm little confused now. Let's see. Where is that Excel? Datatable Excel object. Okay. So now I want to put the next one. Let's put two results here. I'll put second column, first row. Okay. Let's run this and see. Run. Yeah. Okay. First row, second column. Okay. Thanks. So now go to Datatable. Yeah. So now this should be ulta, opposite. So it's 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 5, and 1, 6. Now I want the data, right? I want the data in the, if you see, row increment once. Sorry, column increments once, and the row increments multiple times, right? It do 6 times. Did we do this? How did we do this? Guys, do you remember how did we do this? Anyone? Row incremented by 1. See, column is, the first one is row increments by 1, and the column increments by 6. We did this. Anyone who remembers? Yaji?
For loop again, Raju.
Yes, you have to use the for loop again to get this, right?
Yeah.
So now what I'll do, instead of, this is my 1 increment, right? So first row, second row, third row. So what I will do, I will put this as I. I have to put here for equal to 1 2 to 6, step 1, and then I'm going to copy this, put it here, and this is going to be my J. This is going to be my J. Now inside this for loop, this is going to be my, I'll say, okay, let me do that first. 1 second, hold on guys. Then I will explain. Okay. So I did this, I got it. So now when I come here, first row, this should be second row, and then it should increment. So I will say this should be 2 to 2 to, what is the item count? 2 item count. count. Step 1. Now this J should be, again I should have another for loop here for K equal to 1 to 6. Step 1. Now this should come inside. This should come inside the second for loop. Okay. Now what's happen? So I'll come here. So this should be my J. This should be my J, and this should be my K. So I'll make it instead of rewriting the whole thing, I'll say K, and I'll change this to J. J, and I'll make it K. K, 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 K. You need to do this only if you are putting the column name. If you don't put the column name, then it's much simpler. Since I am putting the column name, I have to write a nested for loop. Okay. Now here the value should be what? Nam. This should be here. So equal to this one. Fly from is F is smaller. This was working correct. Fly from. Copy. Put this here. Fly from. Fly 2 is this only. Flight number. Flight number. What is the flight number? Is N correct only? So it's flight number. What is correct? Order number. Order number is small. Order number is small. Let's run this. Let's run this. Okay. Now I want to run this and see whether it works. Now what I will do. So 1 to 2, right? So I will keep here 1 instead of item count. I'll say 2 to 4. 2 times, right? Let's run this. Let's. Wrong code, guys. You don't need the nested for loop there. Okay. Let's see. Let this complete. You don't need the nested for loop. Okay. Let this complete. We'll remove the nested for loop from there. Already exists. Okay. Yes. You removed it, no? Okay. Let's see what came here. Okay, you see here, but you got the order, but you see everything wrote the same thing, right? Everything was the same thing. Now we got to fix this. Wait, let's fix this. Okay, first of all, we don't need to write multiple times, so we don't need the nested for loop. Okay, so I'm going to take this out. You don't need the nested for loop, so I'm going to take this out. I'm just going to say shell of call. Wait, hold on. Let me take row is fixed, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Now okay. Now here, if you put the column number, we can't increment this. So I'm going to keep this here only. Okay. I'm going to take this out. We're not going to put the column names. I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to make the script much simpler. So I'll say I here. I comma 1, I comma 2, I comma 3. Huh? Okay. Now this is the workbook. Save as. Save. I clean this up. Now shift delete. Clean. Okay. Now let's run this and see. Let's run this. I'll explain why did I take the nested for loop. Okay. Hold on. Let's get the code working and then we will work on it. Fine. Now let's see the result. You see? Guys, we have printed the data here. We have printed the data here. Guys, why did I not put the nested for loop here is that I thought we have to print this 6 times. No, we don't need to print it multiple times. Very simple. All we need to do is put this code here with cell number. So your row, if you see the Excel sheet, your row is constant, right? While your column has to increase. Now what I did in the column, the row column I increased it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now row I gave of I. So I of 1. So first row. Then when the second iteration I will be 2. So it will automatically write in the second row. Guys, you are able to understand this? Guys, you are able to understand this? Any questions? Any questions?
Rajesh, can you please explain one more time the whole thing like Excel sheet?
Okay. Now what I did in this code, first I created an object.
Okay. So
right, this object has to be created only once. Sorry?
We have to remember all these
yes.
values, right?
Yes. So this is a constant code. There's no change in this, right? It's always the same.
Okay. Why
Okay.
did we declare with dim? Because before that we just used AG name, that, just
Correct.
like that, right?
It's actually, I told you, right, the standard practice is to declare all the variables. When if you don't declare, it doesn't make a big difference.
No, why I'm asking is in the flight application, in the row 20, there we didn't declare any variables. Then.
That's correct. The standard practice is to declare, but
So we can
usually they don't declare the variable, but objects, right?
Okay.
You can even declare these variables too. Okay.
Okay.
But since this is just a variable, objects, right? Objects are heavier. So it is safer to declare them.
Okay.
You got it? Even if you don't declare, it will work the same. Nothing to worry. If you put like this also, it will work the same.
No, you said agent name, flight from flight. These are all also objects, right, in the flight application?
No. Unless you put create object, it will not be an object. These are all variables.
Okay.
Right? You are not creating an object, right? Excel object. You are not creating an application there. This all is data that is available. Huh?
As objects, that's it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So now this, you create an object and then you create a workbook, create a sheet. This will be done only once, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to do multiple times. So I put this outside my for loop. Okay. Then this all is the same. No change. Okay. Now what I did, after I got all the data that is required to put it into the Excel sheet, I called O sheet. That is the sheet which I have to put the data. Dot cell. We know this particular value, right?
Yeah.
And it is row, comma, column.
O sheet is that
Okay.
we have to say it like that only. O sheet.
O sheet is the sheet we declared here, na? O sheet equal to workbooks dot workbooks sheet 1.
Is there any special
Here,
reason
O
that
sheet,
you
right?
put O in before all the objects like sheet?
That's why I told you, right? There is no special thing. When I put a O, I know this particular variable is an object.
Okay.
That's all. That's why I put O. Otherwise, no. It's my own representation.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you know that it is row, comma, column. Right?
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the Excel, your row is constant. One time row increases. Correct?
Yeah.
But the column increases by 6 times.
Yeah, it has to
Right?
be 6 columns.
So, I have to say 1, comma 1, 1, comma 2, 1, comma 3, 1, comma 4. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So, what I did, I put my column numbers hard-coded. And row, instead of the row number, I gave I.
Okay.
You know what is the value of I on top first when it comes in? Value of I is 1, right?
1, yeah.
For I equal to 1 we put, na? For I equal to 1, right?
If there are more columns than 6, we can declare it as I, J or something like that. Variable.
Why do you want to this? No. You put one more and say I, comma 7, no?
No. If there are more than say let's say it's 100 or something.
100 what?
Columns.
Madam,
columns.
You are not understanding the concept. The column, if the column is 100, right? Anyway, every cell you have to write. Unless you write every cell, it won't work. Correct?
Yeah.
So, you have to write 1, comma 6, 1, comma 7, 1, comma 8 and put that value into the cell, right? It can't do automatically.
Yeah, for the data tables we have to write. Yeah.
Yes. So, we have to write. So, you will not write 100 columns. Maximum you write 10 columns or 11 columns, not more than that.
Okay.
So, when you have to write all the column names, and since your row is incrementing by ones, I use the I. First iteration, second iteration. See, 1, 2. Right? So, I put I there. So, every iteration, this will be 1, 1, comma 1. So, it will put in the first row. Then, when the second iteration will be 2. So, it will be 2, comma 1 in the second row. And then I saved that value. I need to save only once, right?
Yes.
So I put it outside the next. So at the end, I will save, close every object that I have and equal to nothing. You're getting me?
Yeah, got it, Rajesh. Thank you.
You're getting me?
Yes, Rajesh. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Rajesh, last the data table when you showed the Excel sheet row is normally the column names instead of like A, B, C, D. But here we don't see those like the.
We didn't create, no. If I have to create a column name here, what will happen is I have to print it manually right here. At that time, I cannot directly use my I.
Okay.
Here what I did, I made my code simple by using I. That is my column row number.
Yeah.
So the first value that comes is I is 1. But if I put a value here, the column names, then what will happen is I cannot use I. So I have to write code for it. Don't complicate things.
Okay.
Later you can write it here. You already know what are the columns coming up here.
Yeah.
It's only that you have to put the column name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you want to write such a complicated script for that?
Okay.
That's why I didn't do.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Any other questions, guys? Yeah.
Rajesh, in that result sheet at the bottom, why it has generated 3 sheets, sheet 1, sheet 2 and sheet 3?
That's because when you generate normally a Excel sheet, default 3 sheets gets generated.
Oh, okay.
That's the default. Any Excel sheet, you open a blank Excel sheet also, default you will have 3 sheets.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah?
So this is all for the reporting purpose. Do we get any requirement like even we need to have headers, column names?
You have to put the column name, na? After you finish the report generation like this, you just go manually put the column name. Why you want to complicate the script by putting the column name there?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
You have to focus only on getting the data out.
Okay.
That's key aspect. After that, you can put the column name is just one line that you need to enter.
Okay. Rajesh, when we create the Excel sheet and for the next, can you go to the script?
Okay.
So after next, there is a save script, right? So
yeah,
we are saving with that line, right?
correct.
Okay.
You have to save the script, no? You have to save the Excel, right?
Yeah, actually, before I missed that. Before I thought it will be saved in the repository. Then again I saw it, and then
No. This is something not related to your QTP only. So you have to save the script.
Okay.
Understood? And then close all the objects. If you don't use this, when you open the script, open the Excel, it will open in read-only mode.
Okay.
And then you cannot edit it. So then you have to rerun the whole thing again in order to make it editable.
Okay.
Don't do that, okay? Any other questions, guys? Yeah.
Rajesh, I forgot why you said we have to use nothing.
Okay, nothing is to empty the objects that has been stored there.
Oh, okay.
See what you are doing here, we are clicking on the close, like how we clicked here, right? This one.
Yeah.
You are closing the generation. Similarly, you are closing the workbook. And then you are quitting the object. That is, you are coming out of the Excel object.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this and this is still linked to your Excel from the script. So if you put nothing, that means you are terminating the link between the script and the Excel sheet.
Okay. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah. So every time we have to do this.
No, once only you have to write once, right, in the script.
No, not for this one. If we are creating another Excel sheet.
Yes.
Okay.
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 Okay. So the homework for, don't worry guys, class is not over. Okay, class is not over. The homework for where is this? The homework for Monday. tomorrow, since it's Friday, no class. The homework for Monday. I want you guys to create 3 scripts. Script 1, insert order. 2, update order. And 3, delete order. 3 scripts I want you guys to create. So you'll go to flight reservation. For you know how to create insert the order. Now in order to update the order, what I want you guys to do is first create the order. So you'll get the order number. Okay. The next what you have to do, you have to take that order number and update the order. And then take that order number and delete the order. So in the output report, I want you to, what I want is, what I want you to update is, click on this file, open order, select this checkbox, order number, say example, I'm giving 181, okay. Now I want you to click on the flights, change the flight, okay. See, the flight number will change. Flight number will change, and then I will say update order. So the flight number will change. Based on the flight, your total will change now. Or you just change the flight number, change the ticket to 2 and update the order. Okay. So I want output of this. So when I am changing the order number, when I am updating the order number, what I want you guys, the output is, I want the name of the person you did the update. That's one. Second one is, what is the order number? Second column, order number. Third column, I want what is the original flight number, original ticket, TIC, original ticket, new flight number, right? New ticket, total. That's what I need. Order number will not change. Order number will remain the same. So we are already taking the order number. Guys, you are able to understand. The update order, I need this as the output. Guys, you are able to understand? You are able to understand, guys? Any questions on this? Okay. Now delete order, let's cancel that, and I will give you a homework for the third one will be for the web. Okay. So I'll cancel the delete order. So insert an order. I want you guys to get the output for this, like how I did for the script, and update order, I want it in this format. The name of the person, what is the order number you used, what is the old flight number, what is the old ticket count, what is the new flight number, new ticket count, and what is the total. Yeah.
Do we want to do first method of reporting or second method?
Excel.
Okay.
All in Excel sheet.
Okay.
I'm not interested in the first method.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for insert order, do we have to create the result sheet also?
Yes.
Okay. And what columns do we have to write in that result sheet?
Same what I did. Same what I did today.
This is for, okay, so today, okay.
Today. I will mail you this Excel sheet, this script. I will mail you like yesterday I mailed you the script, right?
Okay.
I will mail you the script. Create on your own. Don't copy the script. Create on your own. Just keep this insert order for your reference. The script that I gave you, keep it for your reference. And update order is the actual homework for you guys. Okay?
Okay.
You're getting me?
Yes.
And third one is Web, we are going to see web now, and then I will give you the homework for that. Okay? Fine. Any other questions? Cool. So now, next what we are going to see, till now we saw QTP and how to work with Windows-based application. Windows-based application. Now we are going to see how to work with web-based application. There is no difference, absolutely no difference. Only thing is that instead of you say example for a button, instead of using Win button, you use web button. That's the difference. Other than that, there is no difference. Okay, you can use exactly the same code what we used for Windows for this. Only the object identification will change. Other than that, there is no difference. So let's see how to work with a web-based application. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to save this. Now I'm going to open a new one.
In the script, we used.
Your voice is too low. I'm not able to understand anything. Can you make it talk? Can you talk a little louder?
Hello?
Yeah. Can you talk a little more louder?
Yes, Rajesh. Here in the script, we are trying to use save as with the script. Is it necessary that we need to use the script, or is there any other way to save it?
Save as to the Excel, right? You're talking about.
Yes.
That's the only way.
So we have to use the script.
Yes, you have to use the script. You have to save as. There is no other way to save. If you don't want to save it through the script, put visible, right? Object.visible equal to true, so that the Excel opens and stays there. You can do that manually. Automation, you should not. There should not be human interference. That's why we use the code. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Fine. So now we are going to use the web. For the web, we use the Sugar CRM application. So now I'm going to show you. Go to Start Programs, Sugar CRM Fast Track, Services, Start Services. Now I'll go and start Sugar CRM. Sugar CRM Fast Track, start here. So I'm going to close this and I will have only Sugar CRM here. Fine. Now this is the application that I'm going to work with. Now what is the steps that I'm going to do? Username is Will, password is Will. Okay. Login. This is the step. Once you log in, you get the home page. I'm going to create a contact, so I'll click on this create contact. Now here I'll give the first name. I'll give the last name. My account number, so I'll click on this account name. Okay, I'll click on the first one. Then I'll give my description and I'll click on save. This is what I'm going to work on. Now, the main difference between Windows-based application and web-based application is when you are capturing the object repository, there is a small difference. Okay, let me show you and log out. This is the step that I'm going to do. Okay. Now, when I go to this and I click on, let's do this object repository first. I'm going to go to resources, shared object repository. I'm going to add an object. Now, when you are working with Windows-based application, you can just go directly click on this. But here, there is a small variation. Okay, let's see what is the variation. I'll take the object spy first, just to show you. Spy the object. Now, see, it's in the center, right? It's in the center. Now, I have already selected, but it's in the center. How do I move the object spy? In order to move the object spy, press Control. You see, the moment I press Control, my hand is changing to a pointer. Press Control and move it and leave it. Now it will come back. Now you see here, I have to do a little hard work on this. Now when I keep it on top of this edit box, you see it's coming as a web element. That's not what we want. So if you go little above the edit box, you will see the web edit. You see that? So it is not exactly at that point. So you have to be little careful. So there is a little trial and error method that will work here. So it is not easy. Okay, it's not as easy as what you think. Capturing the objects in web-based. You see, it has to come correct. So if I go here, when I'm adding object, it's not going to show you all this, what it did in object spy, right? So when I'm going to add the object, click here. You see, it doesn't show me where I have to click. But if I click on will, if I click on the edit box, see what it's coming? It's coming as a web element. This is not a web element. It's a web edit box, correct? So that's not what it is. So what usually I will do is, I will select the object. I'll click anywhere on the page in order to record the whole thing. And then browser is the overall browser. Then the page. So I'll click on the page, not on the element. I'll click on the page and click OK. Now you remember this dialog box where I can select what I want. So I'll say select the object types, select this, and what are the object types here? The object types are edit and button, right? These are the two things I need. Web page, that's a page. See, it didn't come. So now again I have to give cancel. Let's try again. Since in the page it's not displaying, so I'll select the web element on top of this. So that's the table. So I'll select the table. Let's see whether it's coming in the table. Okay. It added up the table. Wait, hold on. No. So it's little tricky to do. If in case you might have to do a little trial and error till you get that correct. So I'll say this. No, it's adding that also. It's adding the repository. So you have to go. If I add the page, it's not helping our browser. Let's see whether it's coming in the browser. Select. It's coming in the browser. So let me remove all these things. It's not coming in the page, it's coming in the browser. So I want to delete of all. Now what I will do, so in order to add this page, I'll click on object, click on the page, select the browser, click OK. Now select this, select. Now what all you need a button, right? You need button and there's no menu. You need edit box, right? In button, what I want the web button. So I'll uncheck all this unwanted stuff. I'll just keep web button. And then I need the edit box, right? So in the edit box, if you leave it enabled, if you just enable the edit box also, nothing to worry. Just say edit box and say OK. These are the two things that I need here. Fine. Now you add only those two in from this particular browser. Now you see, I've got my login button. You see, login button is come. You see, it's come without any trouble. See, you see where the button is highlighting. You saw the button where it's highlighting. It's not highlighting on the button. It's highlighting on top of the button. So it takes some time for you guys to understand this. That's why I told you to do it in this method. Now, in order to write the script, what I will do? First, let me save the object repository. Save. I'll say object repository is, this is sugar CRM. Save. Now I'll save the script. Sugar CRM. Save. I'll associate my object repository. Everything is the same. No difference. I associated my object repository. I'll open my object repository. Yes. Save. Okay. And then I'll drag and put this here. You see, instead of dialog, it became browser. Why? The browser, classes browser. So browser, page browser, web edit, instead of win edit, it came as web edit set. And what I want to give here, will. Same, everything is same, no difference. Again, password. Password, I'll give, again password is also will. And then, oops, login. Then button click. Now here, I don't want to launch the application through my runtime settings. We told that we are not going to run it through runtime settings. So I'm going to say run on record and run test on any open web application. This is what we have to set it up. Now, how do we saw system, system system util dot run, and here we gave the path of the Windows based application. But here there is a small difference when it comes to Windows and web based application. For web-based application, I have to launch the browser first and then give the URL, right? First I have to launch the browser and then I have to give the URL. So there are two steps that I have to do. So what I will do, what is the browser? You can only launch Explorer IE. So I'll say IE Explore, to code, close quote, comma, open quote, and what is the, why did I close that? What is the URL? The URL, right? So I'll copy the URL and I'll put it here. URL. Done. Over. Fine. Now if I run this, it will launch the browser, open the application, and then log into the application. Let's run this and see. Save. Let's run this. Fine. Got this. Guys, you are able to understand. Guys, you are able to understand. Any questions? Yeah. Go ahead.
So you're trying to add the objects.
What?
You're trying to add the objects here.
Yeah.
For you, if I'm not wrong, it's web worker for you, right?
I can't understand anything what you're talking here. Too low the volume is. Can you increase the volume in your computer? Are you talking through the computer mic?
No. It's with the headphones.
Then why is the volume very low? Can you increase the volume in the headphone mic?
How about now?
No, can you talk a little louder?
Okay. So how about now, Rajesh?
Yeah, better. Okay.
Okay. So here, when you're trying to add the objects in the web-based one, the Sugar CRM, you're trying different trials, right? So if I'm not wrong, the web one works for you.
Not the web, the browser one worked for me.
Browser one, okay. So does it gonna work same way when we launch Sugar CRM?
Yes, that will be the same thing. Only thing is now you see here lot of links and all those things are here. At this point you cannot do that method. In this screen, right, there it was only two radio button, two text box and one button, right? So I did that. But here, see how many links are there. If you say add a link, everything will get added. All these links will get added. So here you have to go. Here what you have to do, you have to go and do the hard method. Go here and select this. Just always what you do, you see, can you see my finger exactly on that create contact, right? Can you see that?
Yes.
What I do, I'll just go little above that and click. You see, it's still not, it's an element, it's still not a link. But here is the link. You see here? I got the link here, right?
Yes.
So I'll select this and click OK. So the web element won't get added, only the link will get added.
Okay.
Okay. So if I select this, the page will get added, link and the element won't get added. So I want the link, right? So I'll say link, okay.
So for every object, it will be different. One is link and one is...
Correct. Now when I highlight it, it should highlight me that particular. You see, it's highlighting, see?
Okay.
You want to check whether that works, what we'll do, we'll go here, put that, drag and drop it here, click. So I'll just run this alone and see whether it's clicking on that. So that is the little tricky part when it comes into the browser or a Windows-based application, web-based application. See, it's clicked on that, so it's fine. See? Now, in this point, what it is, I need all this, right? Whatever I need, I can just add everything into my code and use whatever I want. But this whole screen I need. So here I will use my method. What I will do, I'll go, click on add object, I'll click on this page, I'll select the browser, okay, select. Now I'll say I want button, yes, there are buttons. I want edit boxes. These are the two things that I need here, right? Button and edit box. That's all I need. So I'll say these are the two things, yes, fine. Now I'll click OK and I'll click OK. Now all the text box and buttons will get added. You'll have couple more, but it's okay. You see that everything got added here. Every text box, every edit box got added here. You don't want to do it, you can add one at a time only, whatever you want. Okay. Now what I need the first name, last name. So I'll just drag and put these things into it, put the edit box and click on the save. It's exactly the same, there is no difference. Only one thing which I had to show you was adding these objects. That is little tricky because if I want to go here, let me clean this up. I don't want this. I'm going to delete this object. Delete the whole thing what I added. And if I want to add the first name, I got to go click. See my pointer, my finger is on the edit box. I'll go little above that and I'll click. You see, I'm getting the first name. I got to add like this thing. Whatever you want. You want to add like this or you want to add all the objects, that's up to you guys. That's the only difference between a web and this thing. Guys, you are able to understand?
Rajesh, for browser, it always gives...
Hold on, one at a time. Hold on. Yeah. Go ahead.
For the browser, it always gives the name as this 127.
No, it's not this. It is this one, right?
No,
it's take this.
Gives
For
as
the,
that.
No, what is happening is browser does not have a name to it, right? So it will take the title. You see the title? 127. Now if I use Google and add that browser, you see what will happen. Or any other browser. I don't have Google, I cannot access Google. Let me access whether Capture is coming here.
Firefox is there.
Okay, Capture is coming. Okay. Now let's add Capture and see what it's coming. Object repository. I'm going to add Capture. You see? Browser is coming as Capture. Whatever title of that page is what it's taking. You see? Can you see now?
Yes, yes, sir. Okay.
Getting me?
Yes.
This is one thing. How many screen resolutions, man? I'm going crazy with these screen resolutions. Uh-oh. The sugar serum got copied. Hold on. Copy. Okay, fine. Next, what? So, guys, you are yeah. Tell me, what is the question?
When you say this tricky part in the web-based one, it's for any web-based or only for the sugar CRM?
No, any web-based.
So it is going to be the tricky for any web-based.
Yeah, usually what we do, we usually use the shared object repository, right?
Yes.
So when they do the shared object repository, what they usually do is they go here, go to object repository, add object. For this screen, they will add the entire object that's there in the screen. Go to browser, okay. Select, they will put all the buttons and all the links, because when you are writing script, one person might be using one field, another person might be using another field which you are not using, right?
Right, yes.
So everything will be available for you. You don't need to worry. The person who's creating the object repository will add all the objects that are there in the screen. So you need to just drag and drop it into your script.
Okay. But this thing is for any web-based one?
Yes.
Okay.
Not only for this, any web-based.
Okay. Got it.
Got it?
Thank you, Rajesh.
So that is there is no major difference between these web and Windows-based. Yeah.
So we are not the ones who create object repository?
I don't know. You will be the one who's creating it. You can't say you are not the one. They might say write everyone's name in a paper, shuffle and say who's the guinea pig there, and there comes your name.
Really?
Nah, I was just joking.
Okay.
So it depends on there. If you have only 2 people in your team, or say you have 4 people in your team, and the other 3 are occupied, they might ask you to do the shared repository.
Okay.
Or what they will do, they will say, okay, functionality A, B, C, D, you 4 take and create repositories for it.
So then again, do they give us writing the script?
Yeah, again, then after that you will start writing the script, no?
Okay. Just like writing the test cases, we do create the repositories like.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Got it? Any other questions? Fine. That's all on the data table and QTP portion. The last one that is still left is descriptive programming. Okay. So let's start descriptive programming. We might not finish descriptive programming today. We might finish it on Monday. But let me start descriptive programming to give you a complete overview of what it is. We'll do descriptive programming in detail on Monday. Okay. Today I'll just give you an overview of what descriptive programming is. Okay. Now descriptive programming, in descriptive programming, we are not going to use object repository. We are not going to use object repository. What we till now we saw object repository. What does object repository do? It will capture the properties of that of a specific object. object and save it in the object repository manager for you, right? Now, if you are using object repository and your object repository gets corrupted, then gone. All the scripts are gone. So in order to overcome that, we use descriptive programming, right? Now, I would say somewhere around 60% of the people use object repository, 40% use descriptive programming. I personally like descriptive programming because it is fun to work with. Okay, let's see how descriptive programming works. Let's see how descriptive programming works. Let me save this. What's up? I'm going to go new test. Right. Now, in an object repository, right? In an object repository, let me show you. Let me log out, and we'll work with web-based application instead of Windows-based application. Okay. For descriptive programming, one more thing. For descriptive programming, Windows-based application is different from web-based application. So, in object repository, both are the same. It's the same method, but in descriptive programming, this is different from this. So we'll start with Windows and then we will see web-based application. Because Windows is easier, we'll start with Windows and then we'll go into a web-based application. Okay, so now I'm going to close all the tabs. Now here, I'm going to create a descriptive programming for logging in. Now, when I'm using object repository, and I'm going to capture this object, okay, I'm opening this, I'm going to capture the edit box. Now, I'll say OK. Now, what is this coming up here? If you see here, you'll see for this agent name, you'll see the description properties here, native class, attached text. These are the two description properties. Now, these properties are, as I told you, the one used to identify the agent name. We saw that when we were talking about object repository. Now, when I'm not going to use object repository, so how do I know what is required to identify this agent name? For that, we go to Tools, Object Identification. Now, this is how the actual even object repository identifies the object. There are three things there: mandatory properties, assertive properties, and oriental identifier. Now, mandatory properties are properties that must be used in the script to identify that. Say, for example, let's take for the edit. Let's go to standard Windows, WinEdit. What is the mandatory property? Attached text and native class. What did this guy capture? Attached text and native class. You see, this is the descriptive property. This is the property that was used by agent name object repository to identify that. And what it did, it captured these two properties and saved it in the name agent name. Now we got to do that. So I'm not going to use this. So no, I'm not going to save it. Now where do I get these two values? Can anyone tell me where do I get these two values? Any guess? Where do I get these two values? How do I get these two values? Anyone? Anyone? Yeah?
Is it in the object, spy object?
Perfect. It's in the spy object. So let's see. Okay. So for my WinEdit, my mandatory property is, hold on. For my win edit, my mandatory property is what? It attached. Let me copy that. Okay, let me not use this. Let me copy this. So mandatory property is attached text. So I'll put it in a notepad here. Attached text is my mandatory property. Native class is my mandatory property. So I'll just copy this. My native class is my mandatory property. That's all is required. So let's see what this guy does. I'll go to object spy. Spy the object. Where's my object? This is the object. Now what is the mandatory property here? Attached text. Where is attached text here? Here. Agent name. So I'll take this attached text. I'll just put equal. Just put like this. Equal to agent name. And what is my native class? Let's see what is the native class. Native class is edit. Fine. Now let's see what is the object repository identify that. Let's see what is the object repository identify that. I'm going to spy the object. I'm going to put it here. Agent, yeah. You see here? What is my native class?
Edit.
Oh, it's edit. Sorry, I copied it wrong. Native class was edit, right?
Yes.
And what is my attached text?
Agent name.
Agent name. See? The same thing. So I'm going to use this and write my script in such a way that it's going to work without my object repository. So let me show you a sample. We'll talk about different types of descriptive programming, all these things on Monday. I'm just going to just show you a simple example of that particular script. Now I'm going to type.
For this object repository, we don't get the minimize button. We have to just close it, right? We don't get the minimize button for.
No, just close it. You can't minimize it. You have to close it.
Okay.
Okay. So now what I need agent name, I need password, and I'll need login. Right. So now when you are writing this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say like this. Dialog of dialog of what is my native class? What is my window? Now I need a dialog, right? So I need to find out what is the mandatory property for dialog. I had object identification, standard object, dialog. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is my isChild window? So this is for my attached text, right? This is for my agent name. Now this is for my dialog. isChild window. isOwned window. Native class. And text. This is the data I need. Then I need the same data for password. All I need is to change this text name. This is for password. Password. And then I need for button. What is the mandatory property for button? When button, native class and text. So that is native class and text. So now I'll need to take the values. So done. So I'll go to object spy. Spy the object. I need the dialog. So what is dialog? What are the values I need? isChild window. Where is isChild window? False. isOwned window is false. So when you're writing into the object when you're writing it into descriptive programming, you have to put a colon equal to, and then you have to write the value. If ALS is false. This also is false. And what is native class? Native class is a number. So let me copy and put it here. This number. And what is the text? Text is login. Colon equal to login. So now I got all the values for dialog box. Now I want the values for password. Password attached text is password. This will be the same only. Edit only it will be. So this is password. Native class will be edit. Let's check that. See, native class is edit. Then what is for the button? OK button. What will you need? I need native class and text. What is the native class? Native class is button. Native class is button. And the text is OK. So now this is what I'm going to use there. Now when I'm going to write, I'll say dialog of is child window equal to false, close quotes, comma, is own window. That's why I said when you're putting itself, put off that colon and equal to. You see, it's easier to copy paste. Native class, comma, login. Login. So this is for the dialog. Dot win edit of attach text, comma, edit native class. Native class, comma, dot set Rajesh. Let's see whether it's working. Let's see, let's run this line alone and see whether it's working. Okay? I'm going to run this line. Run. You see? I don't have anything in my object repository. Let's check that. You see, nothing in my object repository. I have not shared anything, nor I have associated any object repository, but I was able to enter the name. Now same I am going to do with my Control C. I am going to put for my password. Now you see here it's too big, right? On a generic note, if you want to know whether you have to use, there are 4 values. Do you really need to use 4 values? How do you identify that? I'm going to go here and I'm going to put dot highlight. Highlight. Now when I run this, it should highlight me, identify that object and highlight me. You see, it's highlighting. Now, when you always native class and text is more than enough for identifying that object. Now if I remove this, let's remove the is child window alone and let's see whether it is highlighting. See, as you work, this will come by experience, but if you don't know, this is how you identify that. Still it is able to identify. Let me remove is owned window. Let's run this and see whether it's able to identify. Still it is able to identify. Let me remove native class and see whether it is still able to identify. Go till the point where it does, it's not able to identify. So, text equal to login is more than enough for you to use the code. Okay. So this is how we identify that. So next time what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this. I'm going to copy this portion and put it here. You see, with that, it's more than enough. See now how small the code became. Right? You want to try this, you can try this too. Okay. And then I'm going to copy this code and put it next. And what is the agent name, password? For password, it's password. Password is password. Fine. Now I'll say Mercury. Now for, again, dialog of this. Next is win button dot win button of. What you need for win button? Win button, you need native class and text. Native class, comma, text. Dot click. Done. Now let me remove this and I'm going to keep only this. Let's run this. It's actually simpler than creating an object repository. Okay, it is very, very simpler than object repository. If initially you will find it difficult because you should know what, for a dialog what is required, for an edit box what is required, for a button what is required, right? Once you know that, it is very, very, very simple. And I will tell you why we use descriptive programming also. Okay, I will tell you why do we use. Next class we are going to learn that. See this, for my edit box, that is for attached the agent name and password, the only difference between these two are, can anyone tell me what is the difference between these two, line 1 and line 2? Yeah?
Attached text.
Attached text is password and the value that I am passing in. Right?
Yeah.
Now what I will do, I will write a function called edit box. And in the function I will pass two parameters. What is my attached text and my value that I need to put it into this. So all I need to do is edit, say a function called edit, password Mercury, edit, function called edit, agent name Rajesh. So one time when you write a function, all you need to write is call the function name, pass the value. If you want to do that, the only way to do it is through descriptive programming. Getting me? So these are the advantages of using descriptive programming. You can write reusable codes much, much faster than object repository. So guys, we'll talk about descriptive programming. Write insert order. Homework 2 was to write update order, and homework 3 is to write the add contacts in web application. So please try to do your 3 homeworks and work with descriptive programming. Any questions? Yeah.
Add contact means that whole page you are saying?
Yeah, add contact I showed you, right? This one. Log into the application and create a contact.
The home page, yes.
Go here, launch the application. I don't know when it's going to cut, so let me do that fast. I showed you the steps, right? Launch this application.
Yeah.
Will log into it. Login. And then, come on fast, 9-1, I don't know when.
Can you please send this script also?
Which script? Yeah, I'll send you the insert script. I'll send it to you right away. Okay. Click on create contact. Now enter your first name, last name. Select this.
Okay.
Click on the first value. Okay. And one more thing, guys. Click on the first value. Okay. One more thing. You might have to synchronize this window. Okay. Otherwise, by the time this loads, the script will fail. Click on this. So you'll have, rest all don't enter anything. Okay. Enter description, click on save, and then log out. This is the step. Okay. Got the step?
Yeah, okay.
No, I want you to create that in wait. Good question. I wanted you to use data table and create multiple contacts, at least 5 to 6 contacts. I want you to create data table. Okay?
Okay.
In data table. Yes. Yeah. Not hard coded. This should be done. This value should come from this first name, last name, and description should come from the data table. Okay? Any other questions, guys? You still have a question?
I was asking something and I forgot.
Okay, when you